Well, good evening. It's James here at ProPix Canada Studios in Vancouver, British Columbia. As the promo stated, we were going to talk about AI and whether or not it is destroying the photography and videography industry. The quick answer is no, absolutely not. It's actually creating some new opportunities for photographers and videographers that they may not be aware of. Now, let's take a look at your photo catalog to start. Your photo catalog and your video catalog is a very essential part of your asset base. If you are looking at it from a point of view that you can distribute it and license it to media companies around the world, as whether or not it's stock images, stock photography, editorial content, there's a lot of opportunity there. There's a lot of sites getting started with Getty Images, iStock, Pond5, Stringer Hub, stringers.com. There's so many sites out there that you can utilize to sell licenses for your, whether it's news images, architecture, nature, wildlife, and so many others. It's, a great opportunity for you. This is a vastly expanding field. Now, we know that budgets have been cut, whether it's for weddings, whether it's for corporate events, headshots, and so forth. A lot of people are instead utilizing cell phones and other digital DSLRs and such to capture these events or to capture these images. They're not necessarily hiring the professional photographers and videographers as they have in the past due to budget restraints. This is where you have to start looking at different revenue sources. And when I bring this up, it is also inclusive of artificial intelligence. Now, of course, artificial intelligence is great at creating new images, at creating new videos. There are, of course, the downsides to it, including deep fakes and fraudulent uses of this technology. But overall, it is a tool. It is a tool that's going to enhance a lot of businesses, a lot of industries, and it's actually impacting every one of us on a daily basis, whether you realize it or not. Now, when you take a look from the perspective of being a photographer or videographer, this is a way to make money. The reputable companies that are producing and programming computers to deal with AI and to enhance AI systems, they actually pay a licensing fee to photographers and videographers to use their images and videos to train the computer systems. So if you're not aware, this can generate passive income for you as a videographer and photographer to bring back some of the revenue that you've lost due to the budget restraints on the more traditional ways of marketing yourself as a professional. Now, this is a great opportunity if you have not been distributing for licensing. If you sign up, I'm going to go through this briefly for you. If you sign up, for example, on Shutterstock, Wirestock, Pond5, and any of the other services, essentially what happens is that they have media and news outlets around the world that are constantly looking to get fresh images, fresh videos, and to enhance their programs, whether it's a documentary, a news story, or a commercial advertising project. They need the content. Now, a lot of times it's much cheaper for them to go ahead and buy stock images that you've created as opposed to hiring a photographer, models, traveling out to locations to get nature shots and so forth. So they can go and find what they need in this catalog that is not only maintained, but also extremely marketed by the agency that's selling the licenses. They take their commission and then they pay you your part of that royalty or that licensing fee. Now, you want to be aware that there are two different ways to do this. There is the editorial part and then the creative part. So you can look at whether you're providing news related content or if you're being creative, you're welcome to do that because they need that as well. Now, there are exclusive services or there are non-exclusive. Exclusive means that if you are going exclusive with, for example, Adobe, with their distribution service and licensing service, and you're exclusive to them, meaning that those contents that you have uploaded or those video digital assets, you cannot put those on Wirestock or other competing websites to license them. That means that you are providing exclusively that content to that service provider. If you do that, of course, you get a higher royalty or a higher payment out of the licensing fee. The downside to that is that you have less number of people or organizations that have access to your files. So for me personally, I go non-exclusive. I distribute through over a dozen different licensing agencies and services, and that gives me a broader base of clients that I can provide the content to. Looking at it, your rates are anywhere between, for photos, you can be anywhere between, $4 and $25, depending on what the licensing is for. And it can go up from there. And when it comes to video, you can get anywhere between $40 and $80 per video clip, ranging from 30 to 60 seconds. And again, you will get the portion of that. But it's also important to look at the different services. Some of them pay very little to the artists or the creators. Some of them keep the lion's share of the licensing fees and give you pennies on the dollar. So you want to just be aware of what the rates are and how they're paying out. Some of the agencies, such as stringer.com, they pay out immediately. So once they have sold a license and the client is paid, they transfer the money to you for that license as it's sold. Other services such as Stringer's Hub, they pay out, I honestly can't tell you their schedule because it seems to be sporadic, but they do pay out and they pay out well. And then you've got services like Pond 5 who pay out on a certain day of the month every month if you meet a certain threshold of sales. So it's usually around $50 for a lot of the services that do it, but a Pond 5 is a bit lower. But again, it's just what to expect overall. And again, certain distribution sites that are licensing the content are now working with the artificial intelligence, different programming companies to be able to license it for the data sets. The data sets are essentially your meta tags, your descriptions, your headlines, your geotagging, and all of that sort of thing, that they can utilize that information to train the computer system to recognize what that image is. The computer will essentially break down that photo and scramble it and put it back together. And that's its learning process. So it wants to learn how to take the different images, combine different aspects, and bring forward a new image based on its training. So this is how the AI system works for photographers and videographers, and it's a growing industry, just as stock images and stock videos are also projected to grow astronomically over the next 5 and 10 years. So don't be afraid that the AI is going to take over the industry, but instead embrace it as an opportunity to broaden your revenue sources as an artist. Now, your digital assets, if you are getting into it and you haven't done this already, it's important to keep it well organized. You want to be able to take a look at your database, at your catalog, and be able to pull up by key tags, keywords, meta tags, and so forth, dates, locations, because there will be times where you may not upload all of your images, and you will get a notification from one of these service providers that they are looking for specific images or specific videos. And if you have those in your catalog, then you can upload those and make those sales. But by having them properly organized in your system definitely helps to make your job much easier than to go through your substantial catalog as it grows. Now, I'll talk about ProPix for just a moment. And this is where we have the importance of our catalog, our meta tags, and everything. With a catalog of over 500,000 images and video files, this is essential that we are able to quickly and efficiently access the information and the images or videos to distribute when requested. Only a small percentage of our catalog is actually currently available on all of the sites that I've mentioned. This is partially due to the fact that it is very time consuming to do all of the keywords, all of the metadata, and so forth. And also because we don't release everything, we like to keep some of the catalogs to ourselves so that this way, if we have other clients, such as media companies, motion pictures, television, that are looking for certain content, it can be exclusively provided and licensed to them on request. Now we are moving away from this sort of service. We're expanding and moving into a different direction with ProPix. So we've evaluated uh, our asset catalog at approximately $18.73 on average per file. So that would be combining the over 500,000 files that we have, looking at breaking down the price between the photos and the videos, and what the licensing rates are at this time for each, and what we continually and quite regularly sell licenses for through these different providers. So that brings the valuation up just under $10 million for our digital catalog. Right now, we're actually looking to sell off the digital catalog so we can move in a different direction and move forward with AI and other technology. But also, we're looking at longer format content production, so more feature-length documentaries and other programs of interest with our partners through our sister companies, ProPix TV, True Crime and Justice TV.com, as well as others. So that's why we're looking. Okay, we don't want to see all of those images in that catalog just sitting there collecting dust when it could be utilized by whether it's an AI company, a stock image company, that can utilize these photos to drive revenue, but to continue to share our work with the world. We have seen our content used in pretty much every country around the globe over the years. And that's exciting to see when somebody licenses it in, say, Ireland, Scotland, Japan, the Philippines, anywhere around the world where our material shows up. It's quite exciting because it just means that we're doing something right. And that's where you, as a photographer or videographer, again, can find a new stream of revenue. But it's also pretty cool when your work is appreciated by people around the globe. With that said, I hope that you take the opportunity to look at all of the options available to you, because I know that with budget and restraints right now, some photographers and videographers are having a struggle. So this is an opportunity for you to just go out, even in your own community, and catch images that are appealing and that grab the eye. You never know where it's going to be used. If somebody picks it up for a larger advertising campaign, or maybe even for a packaging of a product that they want to use your image in that, then it can bring in a substantial amount of money as well. So again, it really depends on what it's used and licensed for. But I hope this helps the photographers and videographers out there to look and expand the horizon as to what opportunities are there, to not fear AI, but instead to embrace it and look at it as another part of your business, as another tool to be utilized. And hey, if you get excited, you can always go in and play with the AI image creations and video creators as well, because they're actually kind of cool. With that said, I hope that you continue to see the world through the angle of a lens. If you are new to videography and photography, people ask me questions all the time, And my biggest answer to people starting out is just go and do it. Take off the auto settings on your cameras, on your phones, whatever it is, and play with the manual settings. So you learn how to adjust the images to create your own style. Learn from others. Take a look at images that you really feel a connection to and try to figure out what they've done. And you're not going to recreate it, but instead you're going to take the styles that you see and find your own personal style. So in future episodes, we're going to talk about specific photos that I've taken, whether it is on the front lines of the war in Ukraine, the refugee camps in Europe, it could be, wildfires and natural disasters. I'm going to share a lot of different images with you, and we'll talk about what was happening around the image, as well as the story behind the lens and why I wanted to capture that shot. And we'll see if that resonates with you as well, because I think it's always cool to find out the story behind the image, and it just draws in a deeper connection to the work. And as I said, I am a generalist, so I do international news and media around the world. I do wildlife, nature, architecture, all of it. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of pretty cool photos. So no matter what style you are looking to get into or that you are already in, hopefully we can share some great images, and I'd love to see some of yours as well. So take care, everyone. Stay safe, and we'll see you on the next episode of Behind the Lens.